If your wrists are your weak link or you've got chronic pain here, then this is the video for you, because I'm about to show you 3 very simple strategies for building up strength and stability in your wrists. Let's get into this. A key factor that sets a lot of people up for wrist problems is a muscular imbalance between the wrist flexors, those are the muscles that pull the wrist in this direction that most people use all the time, and the wrist extensors that pull the wrist in this direction, which many people nowadays never use. And so one of the first things that we should be working on, if our goal is to improve the health and functionality of our wrists, is to bring balance back to those 2 muscle groups. And we're going to do that by increasing the strength of our wrist extensors. Exercise number 1 is isometric wrist extension. Pure isometric wrist extension is a super simple exercise. To perform it, all you need to do is grab a hold of 2 light dumbbells using an overhand grip, the same grip that you use when grabbing the handlebars of a bicycle. Bend your elbows to 90 degrees, tuck them right into your sides, and then you're just going to resist the downward pull of gravity for 15 to 30 seconds, making sure to maintain that neutral position, that straight line from the wrist to the hand the entire time. And you're just going to feel these muscles in the forearms begin to activate. Now this is a fine choice, but it's not my favorite because the hands are still in a flexion position. Let me show you my preferred way of doing it. Since the primary goal here is to restore balance to all the muscles that cross over the wrist, I much prefer performing this exercise from an open hand position where we get involvement of the finger extensors and wrist extensors at the exact same time. So to do this, you're going to take the same arm position, elbow bent to 90, tucked right into the side of the body, but we're going to go open hand, and we're going to be using a sandbag for resistance that we'll place over top of our outstretched fingers. And then we're just going to resist the downward pull of gravity, maintaining that neutral position of the fingers and the wrist, straight line from the fingers across the forearm, hold for 10 to 30 seconds. One final thing that I should mention is that for people who are really weak in their wrist extensors, you'll definitely want to start off with a closed-handed version of this exercise before working your way into the much more challenging open-handed version. And if you don't have a sandbag handy, it's no problem at all. You can use a bag of rice or a bag of dried beans. Just keep in mind that the further that you place that resistance out towards the fingertips, the more challenging the exercise is going to become. And so you'll want to use either less load, less weight, or less time, and slowly work those factors up. And in a pinch, you can even perform the open-handed version using your opposite hand for resistance like this, which really allows you to control the force output. Just working to maintain that straight line across the back of the wrist, back of the hand, and back of the fingers while pushing downward with that opposite hand. Hold for 10 to 30 seconds, switch over to the opposite side and repeat 3 times on each side, and you're ready for exercise number 2. The second exercise is rapidly alternating pronation and supination. For this one, you're going to need a walking stick or a broomstick. Once you've got that, just grasp the stick dead center, and then you're going to bend your elbow to 90 degrees and tuck it right into the side of your body. From here, you're going to rotate the top tip of the broomstick across the midline of your body, and then you're going to rotate the bottom tip of the broomstick across the midline of your body. Then you're going to go back and forth from one to the other, slowly building to as rapidly as you can make that transition. Work quickly for 15 to 30 seconds continuously, and switch over to the opposite side and repeat. Now, what's important about this movement is that your wrist remains neutral as you go from pronation into supination. Wrist has a lot of different forces going through it here, and so you're going to have to work hard to keep it neutral the entire time, especially while you're trying to build speed with this movement. Now you're only going to perform 1 set of this exercise on each side. And then one thing that I should mention is that the longer and heavier the stick that you're using, the more challenging the exercise becomes. And so the converse of that is also true. When you're first starting out with this exercise, a shorter, lighter stick is going to be a better option for you. The third and final strategy is to increase stability by adding extrinsic support. And I'm going to show you the proper way to rock tape a wrist for maximum stability. Obviously for this, you're going to need a short strip of rock tape. The length of the strip is going to be dictated by the circumference of your wrist. So wrap the tape around your wrist and then just trim where you have about a ½ inch of overlap. Then you're going to take that strip and round the edges on just one side. And the secret sauce for this taping technique is a 2-inch strip of this inexpensive waterproof athletic tape. Once you've got those things, you're ready to go. Just make sure that when you're applying rock tape, the skin that you're going onto is clean, dry, and free of all lotions, creams, and moisturizers. Now, the application of this tape will vary slightly depending on where in your wrist the pain is located. So for this example, let's say that the pain is located where the 2 blue X's are. We're going to start with the side of the tape that's squared off, and we're going to peel the backing about 1.5 or 2 inches from the edge. We're then going to take the exposed edge of tape and apply it opposite side of the wrist to where our pain is located, making sure to cover half palm and half wrist. You want to kind of follow this line that separates the two. And then you're going to take that backing and rub to activate the adhesive of your tape. Once you've got that secure, you're going to peel away the backing on the strip of your tape as you lay that tape down in a straight line like you're putting down a tape bracelet, and you're going to be applying just a very small amount of stretch as you come around until you reach the area where the pain is located, where you're going to add 20% stretch to that tape. Once you cover the painful area, you'll go back to that very slight 5 or 10% stretch. Finishing here with the rounded edge of the tape, you're going to get some overlap there. And then you're going to go through and rub and activate the adhesive for the entire strip, making sure that you get a real good stick there. And then the secret sauce for this application is to add a strip of that inexpensive athletic tape, about 2 to 3 inches long, over the junction between where those pieces come together. That little strip of tape can make a big difference. It can be the difference between getting 1 or 2 days out of a tape application or getting 3 or 4 days out of the exact same application. It helps to make sure that no matter how many times you wash your hands or go to the gym and get sweaty, that rock tape stays on, keeping you safe and secure the entire time. It's important to point out here that rock tape strategies like the one I just showed you are intended as short-term strategies. I use these with patients for 3 to 6 weeks, maximum 8 weeks at a time, to give that person a window of opportunity to heal and a little bit of time to begin assimilating a new movement pattern. And to maximize that effect, we always cut out any activities or positions from their daily life and exercise routines that are compromising the integrity of the wrist. Common examples here are weighted hanging exercises, like hanging from a pull-up bar, really heavy lat pull-downs where you're tractioning the wrist and pulling apart the ligaments that maintain stability in that joint, and anything that's done from a push-up position where you're bearing weight on your wrist and hands in that bent position. Push-ups, downward dog, handstands, take all of that stuff out for that 3 to 6 weeks, and your wrists are going to become much more stable, and they'll thank you for it. I'm going to put links for both rock tape and the waterproof athletic tape in the description down below this video. If you've been struggling with wrist problems, give this routine a shot and leave me a comment letting me know how it goes for you. And if your problem is more in the hands and less in the wrists, check out this video that has a simple routine for dealing with hand pain. Other than that, I just want to thank you so much for watching. Make sure to hit that thumbs up button before you head out of here, and I'll see you next time.